These are the Season 13 patch notes for Overwatch 2. We've got a crazy change to Ramattra's damage through shields. We've got a rework to Sombra, which stealth is completely changed. This is crazy. We've got buffs to Sojourn. We've got a massive nerf to Juno. There's loads of tank changes, DPS changes, support changes. We're going to cover them in this video. We're also going to talk about the map changes as well, because honestly, I think this is the most exciting thing for me. The maps, like some of the changes are incredible, especially I think on Havana. That looks like what a good lord. But yeah, there's loads of stuff to cover, guys. We've got competitive, we've got matchmaking, you name it, we've got it in this video. So let's break it all down. These are the Ramattra changes. So Pummel no longer pierces barriers. However, it does 2.5 times more damage to barriers than it did before. And the developer comments are, Ramattra's Pummel projectiles passing through barriers was a source of frustration for players trying to protect themselves or their allies. With these changes enabling Ramattra to deal critical damage to barriers, he is still a valuable hero choice against barrier mechanics, but won't immediately apply damage to players on the other side. These are the Mauga changes. Incendiary chain gun. Ignite damage overtime duration increased from 3 to 4 seconds. And the dev comments are, increasing the duration of Mauga's burn effect will help better reward going for the smaller, harder to hit targets. These are the Reinhardt changes. Barrier field health reduced from 1,600 to 1,500. And the dev comments are, this is just some fine-tuning for the barrier health and regeneration rate, as it had become slightly too tough to break through. Let's move on to the DPS changes, and let's take a look at Hanzo, because he gets buffed. The Hanzo changes are as follows. Base health has increased from 225 to 250, and the developer comments are, we are reverting Hanzo back to his previous health now that it is possible to take out an opposing Hanzo with a well-aimed headshot thanks to weapon damage changes. Let's move on to the Sojourn changes. Now, these are quite comprehensive changes, so check this out. Railgun. Energy no longer stops degenerating at 25 energy. Time before energy degeneration begins increased from 7 to 12 seconds. Disruptor shot. Damage per second increased from 60 to 80. Now generates 25% of damage done to enemy players as railgun energy. And these are the dev comments. These railgun changes swap out the 25 minimum energy it decays to for a longer time before it begins to degenerate, which alleviates some of the pressure to quickly use the secondary fire. Disruptor shot is getting a damage increase to help its effectiveness as an area denial tool, and along with additional utility through generating a small amount of railgun energy to make it more broadly useful. Now, this is a big one. This is what I'm calling the Sombra rework. It is a rework to the way stealth functions. You no longer have permanent stealth with Sombra. So this is going to be a pretty big gameplay change, I think, for Sombra players. Now, check this out. Hack. No longer ends stealth, but does reveal Sombra. Hacked ability lockout effect duration reduced from 1.5 to 1 seconds. EMP duration is unchanged. Bob hacked stun duration has been reduced from 10 to 3 seconds, so Bob's loving it. Stealth, no longer passive, and now activates by using translocator. Now has a 5-second duration. Added stealth timer around the reticle and removed ability icon. Taking damage now reveals Sombra for 1 second instead of ending stealth. And you heard that correctly, guys. Taking damage will not break stealth, but remember, stealth only lasts for 5 seconds, so you get hit, you will come out of stealth, you'll become revealed for a second, and then you'll go back into stealth for the 5-second duration, or whatever is left of that duration. Translocator, cooldown increased from 5 to 7 seconds. EMP, ultimate cost increased by 12 seconds. Now, this is where things get funky, because Opportunist is back. So the Opportunist passive has been added back in. It increases Sombra's weapon damage versus hacked targets by 20%. See critically injured enemies through walls. And these are the dev comments. This is a significant change to Sombra's playstyle in the hopes of making her more interactive for the opposing team and shifting some of her power from the utility of stealth and hack into increased lethality. Stealth having a limited duration, less than the translocator cooldown, I should say, is intended to create a brief window of vulnerability. It still enables Sombra to cross through dangerous areas unseen, but to really hang around in the enemy backline will require moving from cover to cover, similar to other flanking heroes. No longer having the stealth movement speed removed upon taking damage also enhances its usefulness as an escape tool. So that, guys, is absolutely massive. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Let's move on to the support changes. So first up, we've got Baptiste, and this is what he gets. Biotic Launcher, primary fire recoil reduced by 30%. Developer comments: this change is aimed at reducing the fatigue resulting from controlling the recoil over longer periods of play, more than trying to add power to Baptiste's primary fire. So an interesting change there for Bap. So Brigitte, well, her repair pack gets changed. Cooldown is increased from 5 to 5.5 seconds. And the dev comments are: Brig's healing output over the course of a match is still quite high. So this is just a slight adjustment to help bring that in line. So Brig's repair pack gets nerfed. Let's move on to Juno, because this is the big support nerf of the patch. Now, this will come as no surprise, because obviously Juno has got a ton of healing output. So Medi Blaster, which is a weapon, fall-off range reduced from 30 to 50 meters to 20 to 35 meters. Healing per projectile is also reduced from 6.5 to 6. And the dev comments are: Juno's healing output is too high for how much mobility she possesses, so we're shortening her fall-off range to increase the importance of positioning well with her mobility abilities. So let's take a look at these map changes, because I'm not joking, guys. These are literally the most hyped changes the game's had for ages. Right? So what we're going to look at here is the new and then the old. So this is the new version of the end of Circuit Royale, and you can see a lot of nice changes there. And yeah, this is the old version. So we're going to go new to old, new to old. But I'm telling you what, guys, this is like, these are the changes that people are going to come back for, because I'm like, especially the Havana ones, they're mental. All right, let's keep it Circuit Royale though and just go through these, and then I'm also going to do some flyby shots. We can do some commentary over those. So you can see here, look, there's a new flank to the left. Look at that there. There's a door you can run through. That's excellent. And this is the old version of it, so you'll be able to see the changes that, yeah, there was no door there, and I believe the door exits towards the high ground where those sort of steps are just before you get to the bridge. But as I say, we will take a look at this in more detail when we do some fly-throughs of the maps. So yeah, pretty funky. This as well, you can see there's another door there. Remember, it's new and then it's old, so you can see obviously there's doors open. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, get in there, and then you can access the high ground and actually get up onto that balcony. So if we take a look at the old shot, yes, you've still got the door to the right hand side. That's always been there, but the door to the left is now open effectively. I think they've slightly moved the door a little bit, but it's open and you can access the high ground as an attacker. That's really good. Let's take a look at the spawn. Now you can see they've added some new cover outside the actual main spawn doors. You've got some a spawn door above, and also you can see how they've changed the high ground in that area. We're going to jump to the old one now, and you'll be able to see what I'm blabbing about. But again, these look like great changes. Like, look at that. They look really good changes, these do. I think it's the best. It must be the best criticism to get if you get basically like, why didn't you do this before, guys? You know what I mean? What have you been doing? So let's jump over to Dorado and take a look at this. So obviously there's some much needed protection here. I've played Overwatch for basically 8 years, and this place is where you go to die. Now there's actually a nice little bit of cover. So yeah, and it also seems to have a little bit of lore information there. So that looks pretty cool as well. And also, if you look at the high ground opposite where we are, it looks like there's a bit of summit on the wall there, so there's less space on that high ground now. As you can see from these old shots, there's no cover directly in front of where we are, and obviously across the way there's a change as well. So I think that looks pretty cool, but this is where things get really, really cool, because there's a lot going on here. So we're going to go very quickly through this. There's obviously a lift. You can see that there, so you can access that high ground. But look to the left. The spawn windows are now in the spawn. Look at that. There's no gap. You're in the spawn. You see now in the old one, can you see to the left? There is a bit of a gap. You're not in the spawn actually getting that spawn regen and protection, which is interesting. Also, yeah, there's no lift. So the lift is a big thing. Keeping it Dorado, though, look at this. Look at this. Now, there is a complaint to be had here. This might make the map less like of a Winston map or a Diva map or a dive map in this phase of the map. And now it's kind of like you just go up there with Reinhardt. But I don't know. I think whatever. It's been 8 years. Give us some spice, because this is horrible. Like the ledge above where the palm trees are, you can run across that, and it doesn't really feel very great. But it's like, yeah, whatever. It's okay, right? It's okay. You can sort of run on the side of it, I should say. You can't run across the top of that. Anyway, let's take a look at Havana, possibly one of the worst defenders. This here, well, you can see they've added a big banner. Now, why have they added a banner on Havana? Well, And also you can see there's a closed window at the back of that balcony. As we go to the old version now, obviously that window's open and there's no banner. So there's less places the defenders can attack you from as you're walking up this area because you're brutally exposed. And also the big banner does protect you from getting instantly killed in spawn by a Widow or a Hanzo, which is pretty good. Yeah, let's go move forward into the brewery. And as you can see here, we've got like a bit of a change here to the layout. So the stairs just don't go straight all the way down as they used to before. We're going to see now they just used to go all the way down. So it's added like a bit of an extra area for defenders to take up there, and also attackers if you're trying to push that payload into the checkpoint there. But I think these look like pretty good changes. Obviously the first point changes were like crucial. They were absolutely needed, and it really annoyed me that those changes were not in the game, you know, years ago. Because how long has Havana been in the game? Like, what the hell, guys? It was always a trash map to play because of the start. Now this is interesting. They've actually furnished this area of the map with more Talon, I should say, paraphernalia. So you've got their sort of flags and logo. There's like satellite dishes. Now, of course, the fort has always been a Talon base anyway. Like in the back of it, it is a Talon base. It's a really cool area, actually. It's probably used for PvE or might have been used for PvE. But yeah, I think these changes look pretty good. But we do have a flyby of this, which will give you a bit more information because there's more changes down by the fort. But before we get onto that, let's take a look at Numbani. So yeah, Numbani, again, we're going to go for new first, and then we're going to go for old. So if we look at these changes here, then we're going to jump to the old version of this spawn, and you should notice the change straight away. So boom, see what I mean? The spawn door to the left, it is way back in the old spawn. Now it's actually much closer. So again, this is extending the range of the spawn to sort of make it a bit more easier to get out of the spawn so you don't get choked up in those little rooms, which is like whatever. I mean, that's an okay change, but this is where things get really interesting on Numbani. So look at this. There's access to the high ground now from the low ground from this side of the map. Now, you could kind of get up here before if you did certain fancy, stupid jumps and whatever, and obviously certain heroes could still get up there. But this, again, I think is a pretty good change because obviously look at that, right? You could still kind of get up there with some heroes, but yeah, it was almost like a pointless side of the map that wasn't really used. It's actually quite like that. And then finally, I want to take a look at this. This is just the new version. I don't have the old version of this, but obviously you guys know what the old version looks like. Yeah, there's not stairs there, which runs up to that little mini health pack, and there is now on the first point. Okay, let's go and jump over and do some fly-throughs. Start with Numbani. This is point A on Numbani. Can you notice how the high ground is lower? It's not as high as it used to be. Look, it's lower. It looks really weird, but it's lower, and also you've obviously got this area there where you can run up those steps, and then obviously, as we can see here, look at all those different ways of accessing the high ground. Now, I mean, this is yeah, this is a big change, but I actually think the biggest change here is, yes, you can still, I mean, you can get around the back of the point now because you can run around the back and then, you know, go through the back effectively to get to the high ground. But I think it's just a reduction in the height of the high ground. It's going to be really interesting to play this because suddenly it's not going to be as imposing as it was before, and other heroes are going to have access to the high ground easier. So here we're going to start at the mega health pack towards the final point, and then I believe we're going to move forward any moment now. Here we go. So we're going to access the high ground. This is new. So this is that flank region where you've got the stairs, which you can basically get straight into the mega there, which is actually super strong. That is, again, this is giving you more flank options. This is probably going to open up Numbani, but typically you generally get through this area of the map, well, to this area of the map really quickly after you capture the first point. But anyway, that probably doesn't matter. Let's move over to Circuit Royale and take a bit of a fly through of these new flank routes that we've got set up. So as you can see, this is a new flank route, a door to the left, a much needed flank route, because obviously on this map you're literally just sending it down mid and getting hit with absolutely everything. So now you have another option, whereas when you push the payload or the F1 car to the corner, you can actually then decide to go in this way, which I think is a really big change. That is massive. Okay, let's take a look at the spawn area for the attackers. Again, you can see there's a line of sight blocker right outside the spawn. We've got this new bit of sort of high ground, I guess, or rather the access to the high ground has been removed for the attackers, and it's more suited towards the defenders now. But even so, it still doesn't have, I guess, protection there. But it's an interesting change nonetheless. This, though, again, is probably one of the big changes on this map, because now you can access and flank around this side. This area of the map is honestly hardly used. I bet they've got data that shows players don't really go up here. Sometimes you can go up there. I mean, obviously, defenders would use it more than attackers, but now you can actually get to this high ground as an attacker easier. I mean, it might result in that area of the map being used a bit more. So this is the final area of Circuit Royale. You can see the spawn door changes to the right as we just went through. And then we're moving back into the spawn area here. Hey, it looks fancier. It looks nicer. But yeah, that's going to sum up the changes for this map. And what we're going to do, and obviously there's a big, massive open space at the top there, is jump onto the next map now. So this is Dorado, and we're going to do some flybys here of Dorado. So we're going to go through the courthouse here and see, oh, look at that. There's actually a new opening. Well, where could this possibly take us? Oh, look at that. There seems to be a bit of a stairway to the right. Well, well, well. Could that possibly allow us access to the high ground? Oh, yes, it does. What the actual hell? But that flank itself there through the courthouse, again, is a nice little flank. Nice little change. But let's take a look at the other stuff. So this is the attacker's spawn. And this has now got a lift or an elevator for my American friends out there. So you can actually access the high ground as like a Reinhardt or something. It isn't just the Winston's domain. And of course, you've got the pushing forward of the spawn room barriers or shields, whatever you want to call them, to the bells. Yeah, so this is going back to the area where the new high ground access is available. Very interesting stuff this is, because this is going to really change this map, because you're going to be able to just get up the high, like your whole team can just run up to the high ground, which has never really been possible unless you had a full dive team, which, you know, I don't know how often that happens in Overwatch these days. I mean, in solo queue, people just play whatever, but yeah. Okay, let's go over to Havana and take a look at this new Talon base. Now, remember, this has always been a Talon base. But there might be new little bits of lore. We've got like a big Talon logos, Talon flags, Talon like logo sprayed on the door. We've got a hole in the side here. And then we've just got all fancy bits. There's a health pack's been moved down the bottom. If you look, there's a bit more access underneath that bridge, which should open up that area and make it a bit more playable, I think. I quite like this. It's a nice change. I don't think this is going to be a massive change. It's just nice from a lore perspective. And I kind of wish that Blizzard would change more of the maps more often. You remember like what we had when Doomfist was launched? But just don't leave the airport in Numbani like that for like 5 years. Anyway, yeah, this is the Havana. We're just moving around the side here. You can see there's the line of sight blocker there on the high ground. It seems like they've closed the windows, which is kind of funny. And obviously the big banner. And then we move on to this, which is the sort of side of the distillery. We're going to move around the side here, and you'll see there's actually changes to the spawn room, but also there's changes behind us as well. And then there are the changes to the left, and then the access to the high ground. It's really interesting, isn't it? I think it's about time that they did these like big updates to maps, but I surely they can do these more, you know, and do them faster. We have got a load of other changes as well, so let's go over these. So obviously we're going to get the My Hero Academia collab. Now this is between the 17th and the 30th of October. You guys have already seen all the skins for this. It's been promoted to death, but now we've got the dates of it. The dates may have been live already, or at least we've known of the dates for a while, but yeah, those are the dates for it, and it is coming this season. Halloween Terror 2024. So this Halloween, the Halloween Terror event delivers a spooky good time with both brand new and returning game modes. Experience the eerie madness of Junkenstein's Laboratory, a fast-paced team deathmatch where you can enhance your heroes with powerful cursed talent cards. Then return to the chilling co-op adventure of Junkenstein's Revenge, battling hordes of zombie omnics and monstrous bosses. Finally, uncover the terrifying secrets of Aldersbrunn in the Wrath of the Bride, a gripping PvE experience filled with puzzles, haunted castles and jump scares. Face the frights and conquer the terror. Now, I'm looking forward to the PvP mode here because it has talent and you can augment the way your heroes work. And these are PvE talents that all got cancelled, so I can't wait to see them. And I think specifically they've got the Genji talent in there where you can throw your Dragon Blade, and I really want to have a go of that. There's a new hero mastery mode, or rather two of them. So you've got Cassidy and Brig. Two new heroes will test their skills in hero mastery. Starting October the 31st through to November the 12th, you'll have a chance to perfect your skills with Cassidy's Peacekeeper or bash bots off the edge with Brig's Shield Bash. Complete exclusive challenges through to earn new exclusive rewards and bonus Battle Pass XP as you test your skills in these new courses. So this one may have gone under the radar, but it's actually an interactive scoreboard. Oh yes, they're finally starting to add stuff to the scoreboard, so you can literally mute people and report them from the scoreboard. Mad innovations, we're loving it. So this is what it is, the interactive scoreboard. To give players easier access to social features, especially on controllers, we've added the ability to interact with the scoreboard. The interactive scoreboard is intended to make reporting faster and easier, but also to improve your social experience through whatever channels you prefer to communicate in or avoid entirely. The following features are now accessible via the interactive scoreboard. Adjusting mic volume of other players. Oh yes, adjusting your mic volume, reporting other players, joining and leaving team voice chat, joining and leaving group voice chat, muting team text chat, muting match text chat, and muting text chat of other players. So, oh my lord, give it me. These are the matchmaking updates, so let's get stuck into them. Tuning changes to reduce queue times for wide matches in competitive play. Lost streak avoidance turned down to prevent cases where it could increase worst case scenario queue times. Dev comments, we're not seeing any measurable impact from this tech in preventing lost streaks, and we're concerned it might be making queue times longer, so we're scaling it back for now. Role delta tuning has been tightened to try to match ranks on roles on each team more closely. Dev comments, we believe that match quality improves significantly when you are matched closely with one of the members on the opposing team in the same role. We believe we can tighten this preference without significantly impacting queue times. Role delta has been updated to prioritize the tank role above all other roles. Developer comments, we've been thinking about how to improve the tank experience from every angle to give them more even matchups and reduce one-sided matches for the whole team further. So that's really interesting, that one is. At higher ranks, the effects of MMR decay, winning trend, losing trend, and calibration have been reduced. And the dev comments, at our highest ranks, these modifiers could sometimes allow very high-skilled players playing on new accounts to get lucky and surpass their peak ranks considerably without actually earning their new rank like other players that have played more on their accounts. At higher ranks, the matchmaker now takes into account the benefits of grouping when constructing matches. Developer comments, at the highest ranks, groups have had noteworthy advantages against teams composed of all solo players for some time now. Our aim with this addition isn't to remove the advantage of grouping at higher ranks entirely, but we'd like the advantage of grouping at higher ranks to be less extreme. I'm reading that as it's probably still worth grouping at higher ranks. There's been a change to public custom games. Now, this is to combat basically toxicity. So, to host a public custom game, you now need to be endorsement level 3. So, the dev comments are a reminder that we've been actioning accounts that post disruptive content in the game browser, and we're serious about removing problematic players that don't follow our code of conduct. Whenever an account is actioned for a social penalty, they're reduced to endorsement level 0, so the combination of social actions and this feature will allow for one chance to change their behavior before they're permanently banned. Anyone that is below endorsement level 3 can still host games with the friends or invite only settings, but they will not have access to the everyone setting. Streamer mode gets updated, so to access the hide my name function of streamer mode now requires completing the unrelenting lifetime challenge. And the dev comments are, we've been listening to community feedback that newer accounts should be required to earn access to the feature, but it's important that this feature can't be abused by various types of disruptive players that tend to play on very new accounts. As a reminder, the hide my name feature does not prevent disruptive players from being punished when they're reported, since we know the actual battle tag behind the scenes. Challenge updates. Select challenges are now visible in the main menu. Developer comments, challenges are now in the main menu to highlight their reward primarily for new event challenges, and challenge rewards can now be inspected in detail in the challenges menu. Yeah, so this is the shop update, and this is the Mythic Recolor functionality. So Mythic skin aspects add-on cosmetic is now added to the Mythic shop. Overwatch League store tab was removed and replaced by a separate button in the bottom of the main shop tab. Now, the way that this Mythic aspect system works is you must fully upgrade a Mythic skin, and then I believe for 20 prisms, you can then unlock the aspect. And I'll leave my commentary at that because I've covered this in other videos. It's just another monetization system. It's another way of rinsing the system. Top 500 gets changed. So the requirement to appear on the top 500 leaderboard has changed. Win requirements per season reduced from 50 to 25. However, the seasoned competitor challenge, 750 lifetime wins in competitive play, is now required to be eligible for top 500 leaderboard starting season 12. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. But Season 13 of Overwatch 2 will be live, and I want you guys to, I don't know, let me know what you think. It seems insane that I've got so excited about, as I have, over map changes rather than balance changes and stuff, but it is legitimately making me want to play those maps again. It's almost like I'm maybe not that interested in new game modes and new maps. It's like the old ones that I played on, they had problems, they're getting fixed, and I want to get stuck into them and play them again. It sounds insane when I say it out loud, but I don't know. Maybe this could be the future. All right, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. You can follow me on everything, which is at Stylosa, and I'll catch you a lot on the next one. See you soon.